Welcome. You know that chalky film on your shower door? Those stubborn spots on your dishes? Yeah, we're talking about Limescale. Today, we're going to dig into this super common household problem by breaking down an article from TipaTech that compares all the different ways you can fight back.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with what the problem actually is. Then we'll walk through the traditional and more modern solutions that the article covers. And finally, we'll put them all side by side to help you make sense of the options.
Okay, let's just dive right in. What exactly is this hard water problem that so many of us deal with, and, why should you even care?
I am willing to bet that some of this looks pretty familiar. The source article points to all these little daily frustrations, like, have you ever noticed you need more and more soap just to get a good lather? Or is your water pressure just not what it used to be? Well, that's limescale buildup in action. So here's the real kicker, the paradox at the heart of this whole thing. The very minerals that are actually good for us to drink, we're talking calcium and magnesium, are the exact same things that build up and wreak havoc on our homes. All right, so how have people been tackling this for years? Let's look at the most traditional solution the article discusses, the classic salt-based water softener. The process it uses is called ion exchange, but really it's just a simple swap. Your hard water flows through a tank full of these tiny resin beads, and those beads basically grab onto the hard minerals, and in exchange, they release sodium ions into the water. The result, water that feels soft and won't create scale.
And this slide, well, it lays out the basic deal perfectly. To get rid of the calcium and magnesium that cause all that buildup, you are actively adding sodium right into your water supply. It's a trade-off, plain and simple. But, that trade-off? According to the source, it comes with some pretty big baggage. The article really makes you ask, are you just solving one problem to create another? We're talking higher sodium in your diet and hundreds of gallons of salty wastewater getting dumped every month. These issues are so significant that some places have actually banned these systems altogether.
Okay, so if the old-school salt systems have all these issues, what else is out there? Well, the article explores a few other options.
First up is reverse osmosis, or RO for short. You probably heard of this for drinking water, right? It's a super powerful purification method. It uses this incredibly fine membrane to strip out pretty much everything from the water, including those hard minerals.
But here's the catch, and it is a big one: the environmental cost. Get this. The article claims that for every single gallon of pure water an RO system makes, it can flush up to 5 gallons of wastewater right down the drain. That is just a staggering amount of waste.
So yeah, because of that inefficiency and the fact that it strips out the good minerals too, the article's verdict is pretty clear. It might be fantastic for a special tap in your kitchen, but it's just not a practical solution for preventing scale in your whole house. All right, next, the article introduces a totally different kind of technology, salt-free conditioners. These use something called template-assisted crystallization, or TAC. It's a mouthful, I know, but the idea is pretty cool. Instead of taking the minerals out, this tech actually changes their physical shape so they can't link up and form scale. And the benefits, according to the article, are pretty compelling. It's framed as a much more eco-friendly option. You get to keep all the healthy minerals in your water, you're not adding any salt or chemicals, and this is huge. It creates zero wastewater.
And the last alternative they mention, well, you might have seen ads for these online. We're talking about magnetic water conditioners. The claim is that they use magnetic fields to change how the minerals behave, stopping scale before it starts.
But the article pretty much puts the brakes on this one. It points out that there's just not a lot of solid, independent science to prove they actually work. The results are often inconsistent because the effect can be temporary and it really depends on things like how fast your water is flowing. And that brings us to the grand finale, the solution that the article itself champions, the company's very own technology. So what the article is saying here is that their system is kind of like those TAC conditioners we just talked about. The basic principle is the same, modify the minerals instead of removing them. But they do it using their own special technology to get that scale reduction without any waste, salt, or mineral loss.
So, no big shocker here, right? The article gives a glowing recommendation for its own product. It's presented as the absolute best choice for anyone who cares about their health and the environment, just as much as they care about getting rid of scale.
Okay, let's wrap this all up. You've got all these choices on the table: salt systems, reverse osmosis, conditioners, TipaTech. So how on earth are you supposed to decide?
And this is a really important point the article makes, even quoting the World Health Organization. The argument is that stripping everything out of your water isn't necessarily the healthiest way to go. A balanced approach, they suggest, is a better one.
This chart from the article is perfect. It just lays it all out, nice and simple. You can see the key trade-offs at a glance. Both the salt-based and RO systems get a yes for wasting water and removing minerals. Meanwhile, the conditioners like TAC and TipaTech are presented as no all the way down.
And so, in the end, the article leaves you with this one big question to think about. It's not just a technical choice about your plumbing anymore. It's more of a philosophical one. For your home, what do you really want from your water? Do you want absolute purity, achieved by stripping everything out? Or do you want a healthy balance, by working with the good minerals that are already there?